This happened when I was 7 years old. I've always been a very imaginative child, and I used to love playing by myself for hours in my room. I had many stuffed animals that I would talk to and play with. At night, after my parents had tucked me in bed, I would turn off my lamp and continue playing until I fell asleep. One night, I was lying in my bed listening to my Teddy Ruxpin talk into his little tape recorder, and then I started hearing strange sounds coming from the other side of my bedroom wall. I couldn't make out what it was at first because I was quite young, but it sounded like someone walking around in my closet and moving things. I tried to ignore it, but then the sounds began to get closer and closer. They began to sound like footsteps right next to my bed. Then I started hearing chains dragging metal moans. I was too afraid to look over and see what was happening, so I just kept lying there with my eyes squeezed shut until my mom came in to check on me. "What's wrong, honey? Are you okay?" she asked. "Can you come look by the bed?" "It's really scary," I said. But when Mom looked under the bed and in the closet, there was nothing there. "But you can hear it, right?" I asked her. She didn't hear anything, so we just snuggled and went back to sleep. The next morning, I told my dad about the scary sounds I heard, but he just laughed it off and said it was probably just the pipes in the wall or something. And of course, my mom agreed. Over the next few weeks, the strange noises happened more and more often, but they never happened when anyone else was in my room. It was always just me. One night I got so scared that I called out for my mom while I was hiding under the covers. As soon as she walked in, the sound stopped. Again, my mom checked everywhere and even brought my dad in to check, but they couldn't find anything. They both told me that everything was fine and that there was nothing in my room. But I knew that there was something in there making all those scary noises. No one believed me though, so I eventually stopped telling them about it. But every night before I went to bed, I would ask them to turn off the overhead light in my room and leave my door open just a crack so I wouldn't be so scared. They agreed, and each night they would do it for me, but I still couldn't help but feel terrified. Then one night, while I was playing in my bed, I noticed something strange behind the full-length mirror that stood against the wall of my room. The mirror was huge, and it went from the floor almost all the way up to the ceiling. And in the corner where the top of the mirror met the ceiling, I could have sworn I saw something dark moving behind it. I was too afraid to look closer, but I kept trying to catch another glimpse of it. Every time I did, though, it seemed to disappear before my eyes. I didn't know if it was actually disappearing or if I was just not getting a good look at it. All I knew was that whatever it was definitely there. Then I heard it again. The sound of chains dragging along with metal moans. I turned my head towards the closet and I saw it. A large, dark shape was emerging out of the corner of the mirror. It was tall and thin, and it seemed to be dragging itself closer and closer to my bed. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. My throat was completely dry. I could only watch in horror as this creature slowly approached me, and then it spoke. Its voice sounded like nails on a chalkboard. "Let me out," it rasped. "Let me out and I will show you what is truly behind this mirror." Of course, I didn't respond. I was too terrified to say a word. I tried to move, but I couldn't. I was completely frozen in fear. The creature continued to stare at me with its soulless eyes. And then it reached out a hand towards me. It was skeletal and gray and covered in sores and boils. It looked like something from a nightmare. As soon as its hand touched mine, I woke up. I was drenched in sweat and my heart was pounding in my chest. I quickly looked over at the mirror, but of course there was nothing there. I got up and walked over to it and looked behind it in the corner where the ceiling met the mirror, but I didn't see anything. I walked out of my room and into the hallway and then went back in and closed the door. I didn't tell anyone about what I saw because I knew they wouldn't believe me. So I just got back in bed and pretended to go back to sleep. But I couldn't. I laid there for what felt like hours, staring at the ceiling, wondering if what I saw was real. The next morning, I told my best friend about it, but she just laughed and said that it was just a bad dream. And of course, my parents thought it was funny too. But I knew that what I experienced wasn't a dream. I mean, why would I wake up sweating if it was just a dream? That day, I refused to go in my room unless my parents were with me. They didn't really understand why, but they went in there with me anyway. I was so upset about what happened the night before that I threw a tantrum when I saw the mirror. I didn't want to go anywhere near it. My dad picked me up and held me as I cried and told him how scared I was. "It's okay, honey, you're safe now," he said. But I didn't want him to just hold me. I wanted him to take the mirror down. So I screamed, "Take the mirror down. I don't want it here anymore." My dad looked at my mom and then back at me. "You can't be serious." "You're scared of a mirror," he said. But I was serious. I was so scared to go to sleep in that room, knowing that whatever was behind the mirror was still in there with me. When he realized that I wasn't joking, he finally took the mirror down and threw it in the trash. Finally, I felt safe again, and I never heard any strange noises or saw any creepy things in my room ever again. That's what you get for messing with a 7-year-old girl. I bet that whatever was behind that mirror was very happy once it was ripped away from its home. I'm the host. And if you want to hear more scary stories, stay tuned for more content. Also, be sure to check out our new podcast. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.